Okay, quickly, I just wanted to explain the different types of questions you may be asked after reading a passage. We have been practicing respond to text questions, and those involve reading the passage, finding information in the passage to support your answer. So if you're going to say, I believe that the sky is pink, well, then you need to find the sentences in the story that match what you believe and then write about those sentences. Here are other types of questions that you might find when you're reading a story and then you have to take a test on it or a quiz. First, I think you've heard about right there questions since probably kindergarten. Right there questions are literal questions whose answers can be found in the text. Often the words used in the questions are the same words found in the text. So this is an important thing to know because you can scan the story for those same words in order to find the answer. Let me give you an example of a right there question. Right here. Iguanas need sunlight to live. What evidence from the passage supports this statement? And it's a multiple choice question, which makes it even easier. You can scan the story for these sentences and then also read the sentences to find out if they support this opinion. That means, not opinion, this fact that is iguanas need sunlight to live. It says when it gets hot during the summer, people go inside their houses to escape the sunlight. That has nothing to do with iguanas, so that's not the answer. If a rock is sitting out in the sunlight, the temperature of the rock will rise. Has nothing to do with sunlight. So we've already crossed off two choices. Iguanas, this is a good sign, live in caves because caves are good places to hide from bigger animals. Really doesn't have anything to do with sunlight. And then sitting in sunlight makes the body of an iguana warmer and helps it stay healthy. Ding, 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 ding. So this has to do with the story directly. This is a direct quote from the story, so you could consider this a right there answer or right there question. Something else you could consider this is actually an on my own question. So let's read about that. An on my own question. These questions do not require the student to have read the passage, but he or she must use their background or their prior knowledge to answer the questions. So I didn't read the story and I was still able to answer that. The answer was D. Sitting in the sunlight makes the body of an iguana warmer and helps it stay healthy. You don't need to read the story to know that that's the correct answer because the other ones made no sense. So that could technically be called a on my own question. Think and search questions. Let's look at that one. Think and search questions. Answers are gathered from several parts of the text and put together to make meaning. So let's keep looking and see if we can find one of those. Based on the information in the passage, what happens to something when it is placed in the sunlight? What kind of question do you think that is? Yep, that's an on my own question. I don't even need to read the story to know that the answer is A. It gets warmer. What is the passage mainly about? I think we've found our think and search question. You need to have read that passage. You need to know about the different parts of that passage to be able to answer whether it's mainly about rocks and islands, caves, and experiments sitting and standing, and iguanas in sunlight. So that's one where you probably should have read it and then pulled from different parts of it to answer the question. Let's keep looking. Ooh, what happens to iguanas if they do not get enough sunlight? This is another example of a search and find question. You need to search and find evidence to be able to answer this question. Next, it says author and you questions. These questions are based on information provided in the text, but the student is required to relate it to their own experience. Although the answer does not lie directly in the text, the student must have read it in order to answer the question. And as I've been looking around at the different passages, I found it a little hard to find an author and you question. Let's see if this one is. Iguanas usually live in caves. Explain why iguanas cannot stay in caves all the time by using information from the text. This one might be a good example of an author and you question. You have to read it. You have to have understanding of animals and what they need. That's what you have, prior knowledge you have to have when you read this story. And you should have that in your response, both your prior knowledge, stuff that you already knew, plus information from the text to answer this question. So that's actually a good example of an author and you question. Okie dokie. Hopefully that helps.